Hello, 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 hello. I am Jacqui Duran, Star Director with Scentsy, and I am here for our weekly Tuesday training. I am also going to go live here in my group support page. Sorry. I'm trying to get better at having both at the same time. So that way, it doesn't look weird if I'm like looking in different directions. So playing with it. Thank you for having some grace with me as I get this done. All right, let's go ahead and I'm about to go live in my group page. Okay. Hello, hello. How we doing, guys? Fear. Yes, we're going to talk about fear today. We are. Because I think it's something that... Oh, thank you for watching. I think that it's something that we all have, but very rarely do we talk about it. I feel like that's shaking. I apologize. See if I can get the tripod a little bit better there. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and let me go live in here and we'll get started. Hello from Canada, Indiana. Amazing. I was just talking to, one of my frontline, Amanda, who is leading her team in Canada. She is doing amazing things. So we are all about the Canada team. Yeah, she was telling me the fun part of selling out of the NHL. Texas, yes. Hey, Miss Pam. All right. Amarillo, Texas, South Georgia. We got it covered. Today. All right. So today we are talking, you guys, in case you're wondering here on the team page or group page, then we are also live on YouTube. So just in case you're curious who I'm talking to. Yeah, unfortunately, that is one thing when you join Scentsy. Thank you so much. When you join Scentsy, Arkansas, you really have to think about the person that you're joining, because you want to make sure that it's somebody that you really connect with, because it's not an easy thing just to change it, be like, oh, we don't get along, or oh, I really didn't know who that person was. Oh, thank you so much. That's very exciting to hear. So you can't just change at like the drop of a hat. You have to really be able to connect with the person that you're joining under. And I really, really encourage people to do that as much as I possibly can. I will tell you that there have been many people, Nashville in the house, many people who, really just have contacted me saying that they're interested in the opportunity, and thank you. And they really don't know, if they should join them or they should join somebody else, or they feel guilty because they're like, oh, it's a friend of a friend, or it's a family member, this and that. And honestly, of course, I'd love everybody to join my team, but at the end of the day, you have to feel comfortable with who it is that you're joining. So I really try and give the best advice to, you know, ask all the questions before you hit that join button. Let ask, you know, how do they recognize their team members? What do they do for training? Um, how do they connect with their group or their team? Things like that, right? And if those are things that you're like, okay, I can totally get on board with that, then that's somebody, of course, you should join. I like to give somebody a way to kind of get a look at how my team works, and we do it, and I encourage my entire group to go ahead and do it as well. And we do a like a 48-hour pass into our group. You know, feel free to look at the files, check out the previous trainings, see what we're all about, see how we support each other, this and that. And that really can give somebody a really great idea. So if that's something, if you are a leader and you have like a group or a team page or a support page, whatever it looks like, you know, really offer that out. That's a great way to do it, right? With Scentsy, I will say the one thing is that we aren't here to like hide anything. It's not a, you know, everything only happens behind the curtain kind of business. So we're pretty upfront and honest and open with how we do business and how we do things. And so by all means, you know, see if it's for you. It's not for everybody. So fear, yes. Liz is a newer consultant. Very excited to have Liz. So fear of customers because you live in the middle of nowhere. Oh, I'm totally going to touch on that. Marianne, yay. I'm so excited for you. You're really building your team. And let's talk. Okay, so Liz, to that point there, just to give you a little bit of perspective, Marianne is really building her team as of late. She's been a consultant for a while. She's starting to grow and build her team. And let me just tell you that she lives in Alaska. And if you guys want to think that, you know, you are a little bit farther away from people, let me tell you that Miss Marianne, yeah, that can be a challenge, right? It can totally be a challenge. Getting customers when you're scared to talk to people. Yes, we'll be talking about that as well. Um, Another example I will give is I have here in our group, Scent 365 Tribe is the name of my official team. And or not my official, it is my team. I don't know why I said official. It's the name of my team anyway. Um, we have five or six, led by one very strong team member, Rihanna, who they live in Guam. And if any of you are familiar with where Guam is, it is all by itself, all by itself. Um, and I know that they just recently had their very first superstar director who lives in Guam promote within Scentsy. And it was a very exciting time because she was like, you know, here I am, where I live. It's like, you know, 30 miles wide is their island, right? Like it's a very small space. So again, just like up in Alaska, right? It can be challenging, but at the same time, I will tell you, Rihanna and her team, they are constantly in the top 50 of our group every single month in sales on a little bitty island. Okay, so distance or geography should not be a factor when it comes to this business. I don't know anything about other direct sales or anything like that. I really pour into my business and focus on Scentsy, kind of put my blinders on. So I really don't know how other businesses do things, but I can tell you that one of the things that comes with Scentsy is that hello, you know, we've kind of been experiencing this in our new normal, right? You can do this business without having home parties. You can do this business without having live, huge events. You can do this business without living in a huge populated area, right? You can do this business if there's 25 of you all in the same city, right? Like, it doesn't matter geographically or in person or whatever when you're talking about sales when it comes to Scentsy, simply because we have the ability to do so many things within our business when it comes to social media, right? Um, and so that really should not be a factor. So if fear is a factor when it comes to your location, or maybe you think that you live in an area where there's a whole lot of Scentsy people, I just want you to shake it off, because it's simply, I mean, hello, it's happening. I'm watching it happen within my own group. Okay, so, and I know that others of you out there can also attest to that as well. So there we go. Okay, so let's talk about fear, because um, fear can really hold us back when it comes to our business. Fear can ground us. Fear can take us to a place and kind of make us feel like we don't want to or can't move. That we can't try new things because we might have the fear of rejection. Anybody have a fear of somebody telling them no when you're asking or posting even on social media, you know, are you interested in this amazing Disney villain warmer? It's so cool, right? I'm still shockingly surprised that we still have that warmer available today. But have you ever had, have you ever had the fear of somebody saying no, right? Not only to maybe a sale, but maybe it's just to offering the opportunity and worried that they're going to say no. Um, but at the end of the day, when we talk about fear and we're scared of the word no, we really have to break that down. Why are we scared of the word no? Why? Is it because we feel that they're going to think that we're spamming them? That we're just trying to make a buck? That we're going to come off as like a salesperson? Nobody wants to be that salesy person, right? That you just don't like the word no. You don't like to be told the word no or made to feel like you're trying to push something on somebody. I will be the first one to tell you, I have been a consultant since 2012, and from the very first moment I even thought about hitting that join button, my biggest fear was, I am not a salesperson. I don't know how to do sales. It's not in my wheelhouse to ask people to buy things. That's not me. And so I started out with a fear of the word no. True story. And that's probably a big part of the reason, also because I really didn't think of it as a business. It was just like a hobby. But it's probably a big piece of the puzzle to understand, like, why I'm a star director today, right? I never hit shooting star. I never hit sensational star at any level. I didn't hit certified my first month or second month, maybe not even until my third or fourth month. I didn't jump out of the gate with an amazing business and customers already and all the things ready to go. And I was so scared of people telling me no if I asked them about Scentsy. I was so scared. So scared. I didn't really think that I knew many people Like we all probably do, right? So I had a fear of going, well, I'm not going to have any customers either. Who am I kidding? I don't really know a lot of people. That's kind of how we all start out, right? Um, the word no is a scary thing. It's a scary thing. But at the end of the day, if we break it down, why are we scared of the word no? About shipping. That's okay. We can talk about that too. Yes. So, having someone say no, it's really all in your mind. And we know this, right? We know this. Because if somebody tells us no today, if I walk next door to my neighbor and I say, oh my gosh, we have this amazing Disney villains warmer that is so cool. It's like the coolest thing we've ever had. It's technically like 3 warmers in one. It's so awesome. And, you know, you've got kids, so you probably love all the Disney stuff, and the kids are going to love this. It's so cool, and it's amazing. And she looks at me and she says, no, thank you. No. Is it going to hurt my feelings? No. If it is hurting your feelings, then again, that's nothing we have to worry about, right? So we have to really just tell ourselves that the word no is okay. Because let you in on just a little secret here when we talk about the word no, is I can tell you that over the years since 2012, I've been told a lot of times the word no. When it comes to sales, when it comes to someone joining my team, when it comes to anything in this business, right? I've even been told no by team members who I've reached out to be like, hey, can I help you? Do you want to, you know, sit down and work on this? I see that you're struggling with this. And they've been like, no, I don't want your help. Scary. Because we have to look again at the reason why we think it's scary. And is it because we feel the fear of rejection? Or because we're feeling, right, like Amanda was saying, that sales, the word sales, right? You just feel icky, kind of, when you feel like that. That's totally how I feel. But at the end of the day, having people tell you no does not mean no forever. Because just like I can tell you, I've been told no a million times, I've also been told a million times no, but then I've had them either come back and buy or eventually join my team. So does no mean no, never in my life will I ever buy anything from you that has to do with Scentsy? No. Does no, I don't want to join your team mean I will never, ever be a direct sales person? Maybe. But that just means it's not for them, and that's okay. The word no isn't set in stone. It's not set in stone. It does not mean that they're going to hate you. It does not mean that they think that you're a horrible person. It does not mean anything. And the fear of the word no really is us having the perception of, if someone tells me no, then that means I'm less than, or I'm not good enough to do this. Everybody else is much better at this than I am. I'm just not good enough. And who's telling us that? My neighbor who told me no when I asked her if she wanted the villains warmer? She didn't tell me that, no. But that was the story that I played in my whole head of she's telling me no because she thinks that I suck, or she thinks that direct sales is a joke, or she thinks that this whole Scentsy thing is just ridiculous. Like who wants to do that? Who wants wax and warmers? Like that's just so silly. Or she's not really a good person or not a good leader, or I don't want to help her in her business. That's me telling that story to myself, justifying the reason that she said no. And I will tell you that over the years that I've gotten the courage to go and ask someone, maybe that I didn't know, maybe it was out in public. Remember those times when we could just go out to people and talk to people in public? um, Thank you. Um, Expertise is where I got that hoodie from. I'm a hoodie girl. It's fall. Um, we can build it up in our head way before we even go have that conversation. Even if that's an online conversation, even if you're about to text somebody or message somebody, I guarantee you that you guys are just like me. And right before you hit send, or right before you hit post, or right before you walk over, or right before you go pull your business card out of your bag, and you're like, they're gonna totally say no. And then I'm gonna look like an idiot, and they're gonna think that I'm stupid, and this is just, why am I doing this? You guys, we have to rewire the way that our brains talk to ourselves. I know I've said this a lot and it probably sounds like a broken record at this point, but our brains are dumb. We teach our brains how we speak to ourselves, right? If you wake up every day and you're just like, I suck. I suck at being a mom. I suck at being a virtual teacher on virtual school. I suck at housework. I never get it all done. Or I suck at cooking. And I just wish I could be a better cook. Or I suck at graphics on social media. I see these people who do these graphics and they look so cute. Or I suck at doing Pinterest. Or I suck at Facebook parties. And what happens when you say these things, whether it's out loud or whether it's just in your head, is your brain starts to remember those things. Your brain it's like an elephant, right? It remembers. And it starts to rewire itself to say, don't ask more people. They're just going to say no. Remember that time? Yeah, they said no. And you felt really stupid and you walked away feeling like a complete idiot. It remembers those things and like burns it into our memory. So what do we have to do to get rid of that? We have to tell our brain something different. For some find really great great help in this category when it comes to like a daily affirmation. There's apps free apps or whatever, all kinds of things that you can do, right? Go on Pinterest and search for positivity quotes or affirmations or this and that, right? Yes. And we start to have more of those positive conversations with ourselves, to ourselves. You can do this. You're not stupid. They are not going to think you're an idiot if you say, hey, I've got a host exclusive starter kit for $59 if you've been thinking about joining Scentsy. Are you interested? I have to tell myself they're not going to think I'm stupid. Or if they do, then that's on them. That is not on me because I don't think I'm stupid, right? I am not stupid. We have to tell ourselves these things. And Heather, yes, the law of attraction, what we put out there and the people that we surround ourselves with will help us with our mindsets and our mindsets, telling our brains that we are not stupid. We are not less than. We are not going to be the laughing stock of social media if we ask someone if they'd like to host a party for us. It's true. If you start surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded and who are going to lift you up and who are going to remind yourself, so you can tell yourself, I am not stupid. Asking people is not stupid. Offering the opportunity is not stupid. Yeah, my graphics may not be the best, but I'm going to keep on trying, right? I'm going to keep on trying. If those people that you're surrounding yourself are there cheering you on, then trust me, it's just going to help become your new climate. It's going to become your new normal when it comes to how you think and how you see yourself, whether it's as a leader or as a business owner or what have you. Great question. How do you stop talking about your business when when you are so excited but your family and friends are sick of hearing about it? I know that I've talked to my team about this a lot, and I like to, I know it's kind of gross, but talk about it like, you know, like that word vomit, because like we're so excited, we're so excited every single month, right? Just like when the new scent and warmer, at least I am, when the new scent and warmer, you know, comes out on the first, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's it gonna look like? I'm so excited. And like even Justin, my husband, he'll be like, it's just a warmer. It's, no, you don't understand. We can tend to word vomit a lot when we're excited, and we have to remember that not everybody's excited as we are, but you know what, that's okay. We can be too much for some people. That's okay. They're just not our people. Are you excited about your business? Here was another really great takeaway that spoke volumes to me at last year's Scentsy Family Reunion when we were in Austin, Texas. We were in Austin, Texas, and we got to, yeah, we got to hear from the Shining Star participants or finalists, I guess, yeah, finalists, yeah. And Melissa Gratz, who is a superstar director within Scentsy, very amazing and encouraging and selfless person in the world of Scentsy. She shared a little piece of her story about how, you know, like she went to college and she, you know, was working a full-time job, and, you know, she had her career and all of this. And, she remembered that her parents every time would be like, oh, how's your job going? And then when that would happen, she'd be like, oh my gosh, it's going great. Like, I've got great sales this week or whatever. Like, she automatically started talking Scentsy, right? And her parents were like, no. We're talking about like your real job. How's the real job going? They never saw her Scentsy business, or they didn't really look at it like a real business, right? It was just kind of like this little fun thing that she did on the side. And you may have people in your life who look at it like that as well. That's fine. I looked at it that way for my own business for years, right? That's how I personally saw it. So that's, again, remember, I told my brain, and that's what my brain thought. So that's how I worked it, was as this fun, you know, side thing. Make a little bit extra money. Whoop, whoop. My husband, same thing. Oh, yeah. That's awesome, right? So when she had this mind shift of, I'm not going to lead with, I have a career and I do Scentsy. It was, I do Scentsy. Oh, and I still work a job. Yeah, I still have a full-time job that I work. When she started changing the script on that, and again, remember, telling herself that was her narrative that she started telling herself in her mind, in her head, right? That was the narrative. And so it just became very natural for her to then, when she introduced herself to new people or met new people out and about or talked about things online, it was always leading with, I am a Scentsy consultant. Yeah, and I still have a job that I work during the day, but I'm a Scentsy consultant. Nice to meet you. I love what I do. I make people's houses smell amazing. And their cars and their laundry and their pets, right? When you start changing the narrative, when you start seeing it in a different way, the same way I can tell you that when you're working social media, that you need to lean into your passion of what you love about Scentsy, right? When you're leaning into that, when you are excited about that, people feed off of that passion and excitement. And it's the same thing when you are talking about your business as a whole. So when you do offer those opportunities or say, oh my gosh, I've got this host exclusive starter kit, who's interested, right? People are going to be like, oh, she talks about that like she loves it. Okay, not like she loves it, because she loves it and she believes in it. People build and they feed off of that. The same way, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, whether it's on the television, whether it's out and about. Quick question, can you advertise your business with a sign on your lawn? Yes, you can. One of the pieces in Scentsy Standard says that you cannot make it like a retail location, so you can't have it up like 24/7. But if you're planning on doing like an open house, or maybe you've got some samples that you want to hand out, anything like that, right? Whatever, of course, you can totally do that. The same way like you brand your car. You can definitely do that. It just can't be set up to look like a retail location. So as long as you're not doing that 24/7, then you are completely within compliance to do that. It takes courage to, of course, yes, you can totally do samples. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Give out those samples. Give them out. It takes courage to host a party for our hosts, right? It takes courage when you are getting your first team member. Anybody ever had their first team member and then told themselves the whole thing of, I have no idea what I'm doing, why in the world did they join me? I've been there. I've been there. It takes courage going to your very first Scentsy event. Now, right now it's virtual. Wah, wah. But don't worry, we're gonna get back to in-person things. Speaking of which, we've got a world tour that's going to be virtual coming up in like 2 days. We get to register for that. 2 more days, and we get to register. I'm super excited for that. But when it comes to fear, courage takes practice. Courage can override fear. So when you think about fear, again, whether it's having a conversation, whether it's asking for a sale, whether it's asking somebody to host a party, whatever, right? Whatever that fear is that you're really thinking about, your courage will trump the fear. Funny thing with our brains is that they're wired how we wire them. So if we go into a situation looking for the good, we're going to start to find the good. We're going to start to, our brains are subconsciously going to start picking out the good. Case in point, one of my very first events that I did years ago, it was at like a small church. It was like a church bazaar. It wasn't my church. So I didn't really know anybody there. I had called around to like my local churches and things like that. It was the beginning of the fall season, right? And so a lot of the local places were doing like bazaars or vendor events, things like that. And I'd called around, I'd found this place. They were like, yes, we have an opening. You know, no, we don't have a Scentsy consultant yet, so we'd be happy to have you. Awesome, right? And I knew it was going to be this smaller thing. So I was like, okay, that's my jam. So super excited. I didn't have a whole lot of inventory. So I didn't like walk in there like with huge things of stock and everything to sell, right? Like I had like 5-6 warmers. Again, those were my warmers. Some of them I hadn't actually warmed. They were like warmers of the month, so I hadn't actually done anything with them. But, and a couple were my own. I had bars that, of course, I had on hand because, hello, Jacqui loves her Scentsy. So I do have, you know, usually bars on hand because I'm warming bars a lot in my life. And I really wasn't sure how this was all going to work. Really wasn't sure. I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to do it. And I remember just that feeling of, well, I don't have like the big, you know, you can go on Facebook or Pinterest or wherever, and you can probably see all these displays of these amazing setups that these people do for events and things like that. And I'm like, I'm nowhere near to this. I probably still have a picture somewhere. I'll try and find it and post it. It was literally, you know, a card table with a black sheet, because I didn't have the Scentsy tablecloth, so I just took like a fitted sheet, and it works really well over like I don't know what the standard like long table size is, whatever that is. And it just fit, and it kind of hooked underneath the table. I was like, okay, that looks good. All right. I had the enter my drawing slips up next to one of the little drawing boxes that I got out of the Scentsy Success store. I had pens, I had order forms all set up. I'd highlighted my order forms, so I'd make sure that they knew what they had to fill out. Like, this is what I want you to fill out, you know. And I had some bars, I had samples. I'd gotten samples. They weren't felt samples, they were wax samples, way before I even knew how to do felt samples, right? I had wax samples out. I had some room sprays out, bars, you know, things like that, right? And like one buddy and some warmers, right? So I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And I went into it thinking, okay, for one, I know I'm not going to sell a lot because more than likely people are not going to want to order it, right? Because I knew I was going to have to take orders because, hello, I didn't have the stock, right? So it's like, okay, I'm going to go into this thinking I'm going to actually just work on getting new people who will be interested in being a customer, whether or not they buy today or not. I'm going to go into this thinking I just want to build my customer base, right? Because this was earlier on in my Scentsy business, right? So I didn't really have this huge customer base. I didn't have a whole lot of people saying yes when I was asking them to buy things. Yay, Camber's here. So I had to really talk myself up. And I remember the car ride to the event, and I remember like putting on a good song on the speakers in the car and singing and dancing, really trying to like hype myself up. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have conversations. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have conversations. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have conversations. Like, that was my whole mantra the whole way there, right? So I get there, and what happened, right? I had built all this courage up, and I'm going to do this, and it's going to be amazing. And so I went in, not even trying, I know this is going to sound insane, not even trying to get sales. I was trying to just have more conversations and meet people because that's what I really needed. Let's be real. Yeah, the sales would have been great. That, you know, if I'd had like $1,000 thing, then yeah, that would have, of course, been awesome. Who's going to say no to that? But, right, like I wasn't expecting to get a whole lot of sales. I knew it was going to be a smaller event. I knew I didn't have a whole lot of product to sell. I knew if anything, people were going to have to fill out that order form. I was going to have to input the order, right, and deliver, whatever. So I said, okay, I'm going to flip it and I'm going to go in. I'm going to say, I'm going to have conversations today. That's what I'm all about. If I get some sales, awesome. So what did I do? I took my fear of selling, right? Because Jacqui is not the salesperson. Nope, nope, nope. I hate feeling salesy. So I went in and I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. My courage overtook any of those fears because every time somebody walked up to my table, what was I telling myself? What was the narrative I was telling myself in my head was conversations. I'm just having conversations. I'm not even going to ask them if they want to buy. I'm just going to have conversations. So that's what I did. When somebody came up, I started a conversation. Hi, I'm Jacqui. Are you familiar with Scentsy? Have you ever heard of Scentsy? Oh my gosh. I found it a few years ago. I absolutely love it. I can't even tell you how many warmers I have in my house. I love it. I love it. So I've got some sample. Do you want a sample? Right? Like I didn't even lead with these are the warmers I have, or here's some testers, or we also have scent circles you can hang in your car. Like I didn't even get into any of that. I was just talking about Scentsy. And do you know that because I took fear out of my inner dialogue and I put that courage of, I can have conversations all day long. I can tell people I love Scentsy all day long, right? That doesn't scare me. That doesn't scare me at all. I'm going to talk about my Scentsy. Oh, warmer back there. I got to turn that off. That event, I ended up having so many people order, like literally order, like I'm talking like they filled out order forms and they were waiting for their stuff to be delivered. I only sold like 2 bars off of the table, like 2 bars. That's all I actually sold that day. But do you know, I walked out of there with 22 order forms filled out with orders. And I didn't ask them to buy a single thing. I didn't ask them to buy. I didn't even point to the order forms, right? Like I was just talking with them. Hey, I joined a few years ago. It's been something I've been doing on the side, and I just really found that I just love it. Like I get home from work and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to make some Scentsy samples. I want to send out some mail to some people. I love doing this. This is so much fun, right? Doesn't that smell like I had a warmer, right? With it was caramel apple. It was a fall scent and it was so strong. Oh, caramel apple pear or something. I don't know. It was a really strong fall scent that year. Whatever it was something caramel. I know it was orange. Anyway, and it was super strong. And so like everybody was like, oh, what is that? That sounds amazing, right? I was like, oh yeah, it's the scent, blah, 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 blah. It's the scent of the month. And it's so awesome. I love it. And they just sat down and picked up pens and started, flipping. I had some product lists and I had some catalogs like laid out and open, and they started opening up. And then I had like testers in a basket, like way down at the other end of the table. Totally not the way to do it, but that's what I did, right? Because I wasn't planning on actually having people do that, right? They actually came up and started digging through all of that. They filled out all of the order forms. I did not ask for a single order. And you know what? I felt so confident simply because I led with courage. I did not lead with my fear. Because what's my fear? My fear is people telling me no. My fear is people saying, oh my gosh, I don't want to buy that. What the heck are you talking about? Like, don't try and sell me nothing, right? I had that fear of, I don't want to be that person. Great, Kimber. You have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. And you have to find your comfortable spot. For some people, and maybe that's some of you guys watching, right? Like, you have no problem. Like, you're like, whatever, I don't care if somebody tells me I suck. I have no problem with that. I'm still gonna ask everybody. That's awesome. That's you, right? And you go with it and you roll with it and you do it. Some of us have to overcome that fear. But the way that you're going to overcome your fear is to, how do we overcome anything? How do we learn how to do something? We just continuously do it. And again, you have to take the whole mind thing out of the picture, because let me tell you, you are not a lesser person because someone told you no because they didn't want to join your team. You are not a lesser person. You do not suck because somebody doesn't want to buy the great scent of the month that you think is amazing, or this brand new warmer that just came out, or the new buddies that are coming out, right? Whatever, right? You have to believe that you can do this. And then you're going to, like Heather reminded us earlier, you are going to surround yourself with people who also will remind you and believe in you that you can do this, because we can do this. We can. You have to be able to be willing to take risks and accept failure. Failure is inevitable, you guys. Failure is inevitable. And I'm not just talking about your Scentsy business. Let me be upfront, real, and honest. I mean, I usually am. I'm an open book. I don't mind. I don't care. Madison, my 10-year-old, is doing virtual school. Let me tell you, I suck as a virtual school teacher. Let me just put it out there right now. I suck at it. Does that mean that I give up? And I'm like, well, she's not passing 5th grade this year. No. Still, every day I'm like, you gotta do the Google Meet. Okay, now we gotta sit down and go over this. And I really don't have time to do this with you, but let's sit down and do our math, right? We have to accept the fact that we're not going to be great at everything, but we can find where our strengths lie. For some of us, it may be the strength of talking. For some of us, it may be the strength of selling. For some of us, it may be the strength of having people join your team. And that is one of my strengths, by the way, is sponsoring. Okay, sponsoring is a strength of mine. And it isn't for any other reason in the fact of I believe in people. I believe that people can find their inner confidence in this business. Because let me tell you, why do I believe that so much? Because I did. I came out after, or when I joined Scentsy, I was 6 years out of an awful marriage. And I'm talking a really nasty, ugly divorce where I felt this tall. I had zero self-confidence. I had zero self-esteem. I thought that I was never going to get my shit together. I just didn't. It's not in the cards for me. Wasn't going to happen. I had started to climb my way out of that dark hole, right? My now husband, who was, there at the time, and he was a big part of that, by helping me with my own self-talk, with reminding me that I'm not this small. I don't care what your ex-husband said to you. That's not who you are. You know who you are, right? And so again, surrounding yourself with those people. But it wasn't until I really got into Scentsy and really started building relationships within the Scentsy community and knowing that, yeah, I am not the top salesperson. In fact, I just ran our group's top 50 in sales. Let me tell you, I am not up there at the top of that list. No, my team members are, yes, because they're kicking booty. But that doesn't mean that I think less of me. It's because I believe so much in people. Because you can change things and you can determine whatever your destination is going to be by just believing in yourself. And I will tell you that the Jacqui that you see sitting here today is not the same Jacqui that joined Scentsy in January 2012. I would never in my life, I would not have bet you money. I wouldn't have anything have said, oh yeah, I'll be doing YouTube video trainings. Are you kidding me? Like, I was barely hanging on by a thread by that point in my life, okay? Do you think I would have ever have thought that this would be me and who my life is? No, because I had zero self-confidence. But what this business has taught me is that we can believe in ourselves. We can do hard things if we tell our own stories to ourselves and if we believe in what we're telling ourselves. If we let our courage take over our fear. So here's the thing. Let me give you some little secret sauce tips, right? I still am not that person who will walk up to a complete stranger and say, hi, my name is Jacqui. I'm a star director with Scentsy, and I'm so excited to tell you about this amazing scent called Just For You. It smells amazing. It's going to get you in the holiday spirit, and I can't wait for you to warm this. It's not me. I am not going to do that in the store. What I will do, however, is I will make up samples, whether they be wax or felt. Right now I'm doing felt, right? And I will have them in bags whenever I go out. I put them individually in little bags, and usually I'll just staple them to the back of a business card, throw them in my purse, sometimes to a product list, whatever. Keep it in my purse. And what I'll do normally when I'm either waiting in line, whatever. I did this at the TJ Maxx last weekend. I was waiting in a long line at TJ Maxx Home Goods, but I wasn't going to give up those purchases. But waiting in line, and the lady in front of me was talking about her this shirt that she had picked out, like this T-shirt she had picked out. She was like, and she's like holding it up, and I see her in line in front of me, right? She's like holding it up, and you can tell that she's like second guessing her purchase. She's like, and I'm just standing behind her, and I was like, you should totally get that shirt. And she turns around, and she was like, I don't know, I was thinking about it, but you know, it's a tank top, and now we're getting into the fall. Maybe I should just go find a T-shirt. Oh, well, I think it's really cute. I think it'd be cute on you. And you know, when you're working out, you're gonna want that tank top anyway, right? Right. She kind of giggled and laughed. I was like, oh, hey, by the way. And she turns around at that point. And I'd reached into my bag, and I had, because I had them made up. Why did I have them? Oh, because we were going out that weekend. Anyway, and I'd had them made up. And I just had them, like, product lists, like this. And I want to say, like, because they were about this small. I didn't have them real big. I just folded it any old way, right? And I had taken, not these, but I had taken some other felt samples that I had extra from sitting out for a Facebook party. And I just stapled them to this product list. And I had my business card. Or no, I just had these on there because I had already done those. I didn't even have a business card. I just had my QR code. Can you guys see that? I just had my QR code sticker on my product list. And I was like, oh, by the way, here, I want to give this to you because we're talking about fall. And I mean, like this, I think it was Autumn Road Trip. It's the scent, actually, that I had last weekend. And I was like, this scent, it, like, reminds me of fall. So I don't know if you have heard of Scentsy or not, but I have some extras, and I just wanted to give it to you. So I think you're really going to love it. So when you're having a bad day, when you can't decide what to do, I just want you to sniff it and then just see what you think after that. See if it gets you in the mood for fall. She thought that was hilarious, first of all. I didn't think it was that funny, but she did. And she laughed. And she turned around and she was like, okay, thank you, right? And what did she do? She immediately opened the bag. Wow, that does smell like fall. Yeah, it does. Now, what is this again? Oh, I sell Scentsy. It's warmers and wax, basically. But we've got other stuff as well. But there's a whole product list there. If, you want to take it home and look at it. That's me. That's me. That's what I do. Okay? Again, I didn't ask her for a sale. I didn't ask her for her phone number. Should I? Yes, I probably should. Yeah. That would be a better consultant, right? I would be a better consultant if I. But let me tell you where my comfortable zone is. You have to start in your comfort zone and then move out from there. So if your comfort zone is right about there, like mine is, then that's fine. Just do that. Because eventually you're going to build yourself up to saying, hey, or the conversation is going to lead you to, which that conversation has led me to many as well, right? Where it's led into, oh, yeah, I've heard of Scentsy, or I know somebody, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? Somebody's always heard of it somewhere. And I'll be like, oh, hey, you know what? Here. And I'll pull up like my contacts and I'll literally like do the create a contact. I'll be like, here, just put your name and your cell phone number in there. And I'll just text you whenever we've got some great specials. Do you know how many people that has worked for me for? A lot in my customer base. A lot. But again, that's my comfort zone. So if you can take the risk to put yourself out there just a little bit and accept that failure is something you want, because I'm going to make a shirt that says this. But if you're not failing, you're not trying. Because that means you're not saying anything. And if you stand there in that line or wherever you are and you say nothing, then not only have you not made any kind of a connection with another human being, but you also have missed an opportunity to maybe introduce your next VIP customer who's going to order from you every single month because now they love it. Or they're going to join your VIP page on Facebook and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this whole thing, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Hey. So, joining, what does it mean to be a Scentsy consultant? That question's going to come up, right? At some point it will, if you don't have the conversation. So I'm not saying go out there and do something absolutely insane that you would never do, that is really just going to throw you out of your comfort zone. Don't put yourself in that situation, because all you're going to do, honestly, at the end of the day, is stress yourself out and you're going to have hives and a whole panic attack and the whole 9 yards. Don't do that, right? But start off in somewhere that feels a little comfortable to you and build yourself up to the point of being okay. If they say no, I'm still going to go on about my day. Still going to try the whole virtual school thing again. I'm still going to cook dinner. I'm still going to do a team training, or I'm still going to do my posts on social media. I don't care if 8 people told me no at the grocery store today, because I just felt like asking people for some reason. And I had samples and I was like, hey, have you ever heard of Scentsy? Maybe 8 people told me that. I don't care. On the way home, I'm still going to stop at Starbucks and I'm still going to get my pumpkin spice latte, iced. Because you know what? That doesn't define who I am. That doesn't mean that I suck. That does not mean that I'm not good at Scentsy. That does not mean that I am not worthy. That does not mean that I will never be a great salesperson. That just means that today wasn't a great day. That's all right. Does anybody else not have a great day at their regular, like, job out there in the world? Hello. 15 years of sucky days. Sucky days. And I didn't even sell anything at that job. But if we accept it and move on, we're okay. We're okay. You just got to let it run off of you and have that backup in the back of your head. If that means having a little card that reminds you you are killing it, right? Maybe you just write it down on a random post-it note and you look at that post-it note every so often. If that's what it is, then that's what you do. If it's stopping at the Starbucks, if it's fill in the blank for yourself. So that way you automatically have a system in place. When you start feeling icky because nobody said yes to your sales, or you start feeling icky because you asked somebody to join your team, you asked 5 people and all 5 people said no, that's okay. And then what we have to do is we also have to try new things. And we have to try things if things are not working. If you keep asking people the same way and having the same conversation and every single time it's the same response to the same outcome, then that means you need to change it. I can't tell you how many times that I've had samples where I've literally dropped and ran out of the store. Done that. I started out that way, right? Like I didn't want to have the conversation. What if they tell me no? So I'd literally drop and run. That was my MO. That was my signature MO. Drop, run. Bye. Hope they'll read that. Because I'm running out to the car, right? Do things out of the ordinary. Take the road less traveled. Don't be afraid to be different and enjoy the everyday moments. Because you are going to have everyday moments. You are going to have moments that make you feel like a complete rock star that you are. You are. Take a selfie that day. Take a picture of what you handed out. Take something. Because I don't know if you guys are anything like me, but pictures spark something within me. So does music. So like my hype song, right, in the car, like that's what I'll turn on if I'm having a good day or if I want to hype myself up because I know I'm going to have a conversation, right? Whatever it is. Have your go-tos in place and be prepared to pull them out when you need them. That's what's going to get you through the fear. Your courage is going to rise above the fear. It is. It's going to rise above. Focus on your abilities. Do not compare yourself to anyone on this planet. And at the end of the day, practice and fail. Practice and fail and try new things and repeat and repeat and repeat. That's going to get you out of your failure box and more into your I'm going to try this box. And let me tell you, at the end of the day, I will still cheer for you. I don't care if that means that you post on social media, I asked 10 people to join my team today and all 10 said no. Hello, that's a victory. A victory is asking and having the courage to ask 10 people today. It is for me. That's courage. So flip the script on your fear and take the fear out and replace it with the courage. You had the courage to ask 10 people to join today. Did they say yes? No. But that's okay. The next time you're going to have the courage to ask 11 people. And are all 11 going to say no? Maybe. What if that one person says yes? What if that one person that says yes is your next rock star and like jumps out of the gate, like hitting monthly sales every single month? What if? You guys have all seen the quote, right? What if I fall? Oh, my darling, but what if you fly? What if you fly? That's what I'm going to leave you guys with. Embrace the positive, avoid the negative, and believe in yourself. Rewrite the story in your head. You can do this. You can get out of the box of fear. Lead with courage. Put your courage in front of your fear And that is what is going to get you around it and through it and over it. And when you need to vent or you need a friend, that's what we're all here for. It's amazing.